Previously, we had taken a look at the camera and the eye. And where I'd like to turn now here is to talk about making devices that will allow us to see with greater, see things larger than our eye would permit. To do that, we're going to have to define a quantity called the angular magnification. So just take a coin. If you hold it out at arm's length, it probably isn't that big, but if you say put it about 30 centimeters in front of your face, it seems like it's a lot bigger. Now the coin itself hasn't actually gotten any bigger, but the angle it takes up in your eye has. So the natural thought for how to define what we call angular magnification is to say, well, the biggest I can make something look in my eye would be if I bring it up to my near point. So then we can talk about the angle it takes up at the near point. And we can go ahead and say that conventionally this distance is about 25 centimeters. So so we can define the angle it takes up a near point as just you put the thing 25 centimeters in front of you. That's how big of an angle it takes up in your field of view. Now let's say I go and stick some optical device in here. I'm just kind of noting this schematically, and you're looking at it. You're looking at it through that optical device. So again, let's say this is your eye here. And so your object, say, might be still the same kind of height, but now it made an image that occupies a bigger angle to your eye when you see it through the optical device. We'll call this angle theta. So with that, we can define the angular magnification to be the angle that the image takes up when viewed through the optical device over whatever the biggest angle was you could get if you just plain put the thing as close to your eye as you could. So if we say that, some magnifying glass, for instance, has 5 power magnification, what that means is that you can make something take up a 5 times larger angle in front of your eye, to your eye, than it would if you just held the object at 25 centimeters. So with that, let's go ahead and, in fact, talk about the simple magnifier. So this is literally Sherlock Holmes's magnifying glass. So the idea here is we go ahead and have some converging lens like so, and I'm going to go ahead and mark the focal points. There's, whoops. There we go, that's our focal plane. And usually what you do is you'll take your object, which is presumably not that big, and you're going to stick it just inside the focal point. So this will be a case 3 situation where you make a virtual upright and magnified image. And so we'll go ahead and look at it from over here. We can draw a couple of rays to track this out. We can use the paraxial ray. Oops. There we go. Use the paraxial ray like so, and the central ray, and that's all we're really going to need to locate our image. So because typically you park the object just inside the focal point, I drew it a little closer just for clarity. Here, actually, let's fudge that focal point just a little bit. Right there. There we go. By doing that, you'll park the image out, basically out to infinity, which is good because then your eye can be relaxed when you're looking at it. And also, so here's our image way far away. Like so. And we can work out the angle here. The angle that this is going to take up in your eye is basically going to just be the angle by the central ray. Because this angle is just, this distance is so huge, your eye is basically right up against the lens. Anyway, I just drew it over here. So the angle that this takes up to your eye is going to be that from the central ray. So we can approximate this angle then as being the height of my object over the focal length. So the angular magnification would be the height of the object over the focal length. That's theta, and the, oops, here is theta over theta near point. So this would be h over the focal length here. And then for the near point, this would just be if you stuck the thing in front of your eye at 25 centimeters, the angle would be h over 25 centimeters. And we're basically just approximating this height as an arc length here. All right, so the h's will cancel. And we end up getting that our angular magnification will be 25 centimeters over the focal length of the lens. Now, as a practical matter, you can't, you could keep making magnifications ever greater by doing shorter and shorter focal lengths, but as a practical matter, once you get to magnifications of about 10, that's a focal length of 2.5 centimeters. It gets really unwieldy to operate a magnifying glass at a distance closer than that. Alrighty then. So what do we do then if we want to see it even closer? Well, what we can do is we can go ahead and build ourselves a microscope. So the idea here is that we're going to have another lens up close first to do one stage of magnification. And then we're going to magnify the image that makes with an eyepiece, which will just act as a simple magnifier to the intermediate image. So I'm not going to try to draw the ray diagram because that would just be a disaster. But what you'll have here is a objective lens, and an eyepiece lens. And they're typically both converging lenses. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to park the object just outside the focal point of the objective. since it's just outside, this will be case 2, which will give us a real inverted and magnified image. And I'm not going to draw the ray diagram here because that's just not going to go well. But the image is going to end up, say, somewhere over here. And then what you do is you have it so that this is parked just inside the focal length of the eyepiece, and then this acts like a simple magnifier. So just following the same kind of thing we were doing before. This is going to park some virtual image way out at infinity, taking up a nice big angle. So let's go ahead and say that the distance between the objective and where we form the mirror is the length of the tube of the microscope. Biological microscopes are standardized to a certain specific length. So if you buy eyepieces for biological microscopes, they'll state a power, and that power will be based on the assumption of the tube length. But however, for other kinds of microscopes, the tube length isn't standard. So I'm just going to leave it generic here. So we can at least figure out the angular magnification over here again by looking at the central ray. So the magnification from the whole thing will be, first we'll magnify it with the objective, and then we will magnify that again with the eyepiece. So we can just go ahead and multiply the two. For the objective, we notice they'll be upside down, and our angle is going to work out, our angular magnification is going to be h prime over L, and h over L cancel it out. You get L over the focal length of the objective. And then for this is just our simple magnifier, so 25 centimeters over the focal length of the eyepiece. So you'll create a virtual image out at infinity, again, to make it easy for you to view. And it will be inverted. Now there are designs of eyepieces that will use diverging lenses here, but this is good for now. All right. And so then we can also talk about building a telescope. So with the telescope, usually if an astronomical telescope, the objective will probably be a mirror. But say with a spotting scope being used on the surface of the Earth or something like that, it could indeed well be a lens. And it's the same kind of idea, except the math is slightly different. The objective lens will typically be some big, huge lens, or there are also designs where this would be a mirror. Your object is going to be is located way out at infinity, basically. And so when you form an image, you're going to form an image out basically just about right at the focal length of the objective. And then you do the same game where you park the focal length, the eyepiece here. And again, the image is going to be just so barely inside the focal length of the eyepiece that you can get away with fudging it as being at the focal length of the eyepiece. Oops. So again, this will act like over here when you look through the objective, this is going to look like a simple magnifier. So again, you're going to park an image way out over at infinity somewhere, and it will again be inverted. Although there are designs of eyepieces that fix the inversion issue. So this will give us a magnification. Again, same idea, the magnification of the objective, magnification of the eyepiece, but now it's going to work out to be minus FO over FE, glossing over the derivation a little bit, but it's the same spirit. So this is where I'd like to make a little bit of a public service announcement. Every year you'll go to some store like, some shopping center or something like that, and you'll see displays where they're offering you to buy telescopes as gifts for the, blossoming young nerd in your family. And they always advertise the angular magnification of the telescope. You'll see some bright packaging that says, 500x or something like that. Well, that turns out to be probably the least useful number you can use to characterize a telescope. The most important number is actually going to be, and we'll see this in the next video, it's going to actually be the diameter of the objective. For one thing, the bigger the objective, the more light that can be gathered. But we'll also see that the bigger the objective, the sharper the image we'll be able to have. We'll get into that in the next video. So for both of those reasons, what you're really interested in is having a large diameter objective. You can make whatever magnification you want by just choosing an appropriate focal length eyepiece. But as a practical matter, you're not going to be able to get anywhere near whatever the specified power of the telescope is, unless, say, you are out in the middle of a desert and you've got very smooth airflow and stuff like that. Because otherwise what will happen is just plain turbulence in the air will mess up the image enough that it won't make sense to try to magnify it beyond a certain point. So look instead to get a telescope that has a large diameter objective lens. You can always get the eyepieces you need for whatever magnification you require. Alrighty, so we'll pick up on this thought in the next video. We will go ahead and take a look at how diffraction limits the resolution of our optical devices, and also talk about how things can go wrong with lenses. Catch you over there.